Good morning, first grade. Today we are going to jump right into Unit 2, and we're going to go over our learning target for the week, okay? And our I can statement is, so let's review that before we get started. So you know what you're going to be listening for, and you know the kind of work you're going to be doing this week and then moving forward with our math, okay? So our learning target is, here it is, like we do review in class. It says, I can solve 1- and 2-step problems by using drawings and equations for addition and subtraction problems within 100. Okay, and like we usually do, I went ahead and I circled the words that really we need to focus on. Okay, and do you see that word solve? So that means you're not going to be using the mental math like you use with your fact fluency on solving your problems. So you're going to be working your problems out to solve, to find the correct response to the question. And then you're going to be using drawings and equations, okay, to solve word problems within 100. I know, like I said, I know you all love going above 100 to even 1,000, but let's stay within 100, okay? We are going to be hearing words like, you're going to be hearing me say the unknown value. Unknown means we do not know it, okay? And oftentimes you're going to hear when there's an unknown value, we're going to use this question mark to represent that. You're going to be hearing the word some. There were some, okay? And so you will be hearing that in the word problems. All together. Can you think for me? What math operation will we be doing if we hear all together? Right, we're bringing things together, so we are going to be adding. So let me put my plus sign there. And then if you hear how many are left, our left is a keyword. I mean, it could be restated differently, but when we hear our left, that means we're comparing two groups of things and seeing what's the difference. So if we're finding the difference between two things, what math operation are we doing? Adding or subtracting? That's right, we are subtracting. So let me put the minus sign there. Okay. You're going to hear how many are there now? Okay. And so like we said, how many are there now? You could also hear that as all together. So if you're solving for how many are there now, are you adding or subtracting? That's right, you are adding. Okay, and then we'll just put a plus sign there. We will refer to these as we move forward in our lesson, so I'm going to keep them right here. Okay, so we have talked about, when it comes to solving problems, we've talked about all year different strategies that we can use to solve the problems. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a few here. Okay, so we've used the number line all year. We've either counted up the number line or we've counted back on the number line. And if we counted up on the number line, we were adding. If we counted back on the number line, our numbers were getting smaller, our amounts were getting smaller, so that meant we were subtracting. Okay, very good. We also use the tens frame to help us solve problems if we were adding or subtracting different amounts. We've used pictures, okay? So in this picture altogether, I have 14. I took away how many? 4. And so the amount that I have left is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 left. And then last but not least, we have the place value, okay? Or we showed that in models of base 10. So since we just left that in Unit 1, we're going to use addition using our base 10 to solve our problems this week, okay? So let's get started. Okay, first grade. I have a few different problems that I'm going to read, and there's a couple of things that I need you to do. If you have a whiteboard, or if you have a pencil and a paper that you can work these problems out with me, that's fantastic. If you do not, use your finger. Use your finger and draw those models and the equations in the air as we work through them. Okay? So when I say an unknown value, we often solve problems without knowing what group, one group that's in the problem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our question marks to represent the value that we don't know. And again, we're going to call that our unknown value. Okay, here is my problem. Here is our problem. There are 15 dogs in the park. 4 more dogs came in to join them in the park. How many dogs are there now? So I want you to remember, okay? First, we're going to visualize, because usually whenever you see what's happening in the story, you're going to be able to see, are we bringing groups together or taking groups apart? So this next time that I read it, will you close your eyes for me and picture what's going on in the story? There are 15 dogs in the park. 4 more dogs come into the park. How many dogs are there now? Okay, can you open your eyes? Did you see dogs coming or going? Right, they're coming together, okay? So now we need to think. After we visualize, we need to write our equation. So we want to look at the information that's given to us first. First, there are 15 dogs. That's our altogether number in the park. So I'm going to write 15 in our equation. Then we said we were adding because some more came in. Okay, 4 more dogs come into the park. Okay, so 15 were there, and then 4 more came in. So there's our 4. How many dogs are there now? So do we know how many dogs are there now? No. So we're going to go ahead and put a question mark for our unknown value. So this is what our equation should look like. Okay, just check to make sure that that's what you see. Now, 15 plus 4 equals unknown. We don't know, question mark. So now let's go ahead and use our base 10, our rods and our units to show those values to bring those amounts together. So let me first represent 15 by drawing a rod in 5 units. Okay, and then 4 more came in. Okay, see how organized my groups are? Now, how many dogs are all together? So let's go ahead and count up. We know this group is 15. So I'm going to put 15 right there, and let's count up. Ready? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there are now 19 dogs in the park. So I'm going to remove my question mark, and I'm going to put my answer down below. Okay, so that is 19. 15 plus 4. And don't forget to check your work. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one. It's very important that you visualize and you see what is going on in the story before you make the determination where your unknown value is going to be. It says there are some dogs in the park. 14 dogs come into the park. Now there are 20 dogs in the park altogether. How many dogs were first in the park? So now we want to see, there are some. There's that word that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to underline some dogs. Okay, so did I know how many dogs were in the park? My altogether number? No. So let's go ahead and put a question mark there. That's our unknown value. 14 dogs come into the park. Okay, and like we said, we are what? Adding or subtracting? We are adding. Now there are 20 dogs in the park. Uh-oh. So 14 dogs came in, and now there are 20 dogs in the park. Okay, so visualize what's happening. Go ahead and close your eyes. I see a group. I don't know how many's in that group. And then I see 14 came in. And now in the park, there's 20 altogether. Okay, so let's go ahead and represent this with our base 10. In this first group, I don't know how many there were, right? So as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and write a circle with a question mark in there. What I do know is 14 more came in. So I'm going to represent 14 with a rod and 4 units. So I know between these two groups, there's 20 altogether. So in my one group, there's 14. So I need to see how many more makes 20. This is where we can count up. We can use our strategies. And we can go ahead and just add units to show to get until we get to 20. So let's count up. Let's start our number 14. And I'm going to add 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so let me go ahead and start. We're going to count at 14. Ready? This group's 14. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Did I reach my 20? I did. So let's count to see how many's in this group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 6 is my unknown amount. So let's go ahead and put 6 there. Okay, ready? 6 plus 14 equals 20. Okay, so we solved for that unknown number, that unknown value. Okay, mathematicians, good work today. I hope you were able to solve those problems and work with me. So for today's work, you are going to solve more story problems with addition. And you can use any strategy that we reviewed, whatever works for you, but using your place value, that is definitely a way to show your amounts and visually draw your models to get your altogether numbers, to get your sum, or find that unknown value. Okay, good luck and call me if you need anything.